Hey, have you ever wondered why it feels like you have been fighting your whole life? Maybe you've been through heartbreak, trauma, financial struggles, abandonment, fear, and so on. And maybe you've asked God the same questions that I have. Why me? If so, this video is for you. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you. My name is Cassie, and on this channel, we talk all things of healing, self-love, and self-care, and of course, becoming your dream version of yourself. And we have like a different setup that we're trying out, so bear with me while I am figuring out different settings and different angles and such to make this work the best for everyone. The question is, have you had a rough life and you've questioned like, why God, why are you doing this? And honestly, for years, I honestly believed that something was like wrong with me. I believed I had terrible luck, that my life was cursed. But today, I can honestly say that none of my pain has been wasted. Everything that I ended up going through became part of the woman that God was creating me to be today. Even in your difficult seasons, I hope my story reminds you that your pain doesn't have to end your story neither. Most of my life, didn't know that. So it might have been a little easier to know that God was doing this work within me all of these years. It would have definitely been helpful, right? To know like, okay, this pain isn't for nothing, because honestly, for many years, I thought it was. So for most of my life, I lived in survival mode. I became a mom at 15. I struggled financially. I spent years trying to be everything for everyone else while slowly losing myself. From the outside, I smiled, but inside, I was exhausted. I felt I was carrying the fear. I had low self-worth. I was carrying shame, anxiety. I thought I was broken, but looking back now, I realized that I wasn't broken. I was just wounded. And that's a huge difference. When everything was falling apart, it was during COVID. Well, it really wasn't falling apart, but it came to its head, right? Because everything that was happening all prior was pretty manageable, I guess, at a certain extent, and I just continued to push it under the rug. But then COVID came, and unfortunately, there was no more pushing the stuff under the rug. And my marriage was already struggling. Everything became heavier. And eventually, my husband and I separated. And, after more than 20 years of being together, for the first time in decades, I was completely on my own. And I remember sitting in my basement, crying out to God, saying, God, I couldn't take any more. I didn't know exactly how I was going to survive this, but I was simply crying out to God and letting him know that I've had enough and I couldn't do it on my own anymore. Because, they say God only gives you what you can handle. So I was like, I'm at my tipping point. I can't handle anything more. And honestly, that moment is what actually changed everything for me. Because after I asked God for help, God didn't instantly remove all of my problems. No, instead, he started healing me little by little, layer by layer. He exposed the wounds that I didn't even know that I was still carrying. Some came from childhood, some came from relationships that I was in. Some came from the lies that I believed about myself. Healing wasn't about pretending that those things, never happened. Healing was about allowing God to transform what those experiences produced within me. One of the biggest lessons that I learned was that healing isn't just about, feeling better. Healing changes the way that I see myself. I had to stop identifying as that wounded woman. And instead, I started asking, who does God say I am? Because your identity determines your decisions, right? And your identity also fosters like your relationships, your confidence, your future. Your identity is who you are and what life you will have. Along the way, through my healing, learning all these different things that God was teaching me, God also taught me something that I truly never understood. And that was, self-worth isn't arrogance. It's actually something very, very important that we all need to have. And if it's wounded, if it is not there, your life decisions, what you tolerate, what you accept, who you accept, everything fosters from that self-worth. He was showing me that I truly needed to work on was healing my self-worth and all of the things that goes into that. And I'm so glad that he took the time to show me what I needed to do, because without that, I wouldn't have become the woman that I am today. And without those lessons, I wouldn't be able to offer the self-worth program that I have created through my work to help other women that has also suffered from having low self-worth throughout their life as well. This realization that God, gave me completely changed how I was actually viewing myself, loving myself, the decisions I was making, how I treated myself, how I allowed other people to treat me. It totally, completely changed everything that I was doing. Because as I healed, I noticed something amazing. That the patterns that had existed in my family for generations didn't have to continue through me. The fear, the people pleasing, the low self-worth, the living in survival mode, those, the cycles can stop if you do the work. I was the person to be chosen to do this work, and I accepted this calling. And everyone after me and even before me can benefit from this work. And that gave every difficult season a greater purpose. Because even growing up and stuff, I didn't know that this is what God was calling me to do. I didn't see all of the different things that people were struggling with within myself or my family, because it just felt normal to me. It was like part of who I was in a way, until I did this work. And then I'm like, oh, no, this is not who, that's not who I am. This is who I truly am. And so if you're watching this while you're in a dark season, please hear me. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are going through a period of realizing that maybe you need to heal. And just know that healing does take time, okay? Healing isn't a quick fix. Especially you are healing not only through your own trauma, but through your family's trauma. And you're also healing very deep wounds. Journey may not look like mine or anyone else's, and that is okay as well. Everybody's purpose is a little different from one another. What I want you to do is, even on those days where it feels heavy, where it feels like you don't want to do it anymore, where you feel like you want to give up, keep going. Keep praying to God to give you strength and to give you ease and peace throughout this process. Keep showing up, not for yourself, but for future generations, the current generations, and everyone else that may benefit from you doing this work. And you will look back one day and realize that the hardest season of your life actually became the foundation of your greatest purpose. If you've been struggling, this, God still has a plan for your life. Your story isn't over. Your healing matters, not just for you, but for everyone else that your life impacts. Maybe even people that you truly don't even know. You don't know how far your story may reach one day. I wanted to say thank you for spending the time with me. And if you feel called to, I will link my website to the description. And I highly recommend, if you are ready to do this worth healing your self-worth, then check out my website, because it is such an amazing program. It's 10 modules. It goes so deep, and it helps you even identity shift and so many other things that, you know, goes into self-worth, because self-worth has layers. And within those layers, there are some important things that if you skip, then you're going to still struggle in the long run. Check it out. See if, you know, it is something that you feel called to do. And if you feel that you're ready to take that journey on, please, you know, do so. I have a free Facebook group that I will put the link in the description as well. And you can come and join us as I, you know, share some other tips and tricks in there a few days a week. Well, basically every day. Some weeks are a little shorter than others, but I try to get in there every day. This video has encouraged you. I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it with somebody else that may need to see this same message. Every week I share some information like this on my channel, and I am here to help other women become their best versions of themselves through self-love, self-care, and healing. Healing is so important, because you can't truly become your greatest version of yourself without that. So I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.